and that coming back to the body looks a little bit different for females or for males. And before we go into that deeper, our standpoint is that everyone has feminine energy and everyone has masculine energy, but it depends on where we are on the scale and how much of each do we have, and what is my core energy, and what do I align myself with, what do I identify myself with, like the energy inside of myself. So we're talking about, so men have feminine energy too, and females have masculine energy too. It depends on what is the core and what are we using, what is imbalanced, we can say. Because the society, when we look at it, it has a very masculine structure. And for females, that means that a lot of females take on a masculine structure to cope with whatever is going on, or to fit in, or to get ahead, or to be successful, or to be approved or liked. Or there's so many things that we start to do that affects us in these polarities, the polarities and the energies. So what would you say, Simba? What are you noticing the difference is to bring back a woman to the body and to bring back a man to the body? What are you noticing, since we're going to focus on the female side of things today?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting concept to look at it, because like you said, polarity really is energetics, right? It's qualities. And the polarity concept really comes from magnetism or physics, right? That equal poles, they retract each other, and opposite poles attract, right? And you have these philosophies in all shapes and forms in life. Vedic has the Ida and the Pingala. Traditional Chinese medicine has the yin and the yang. In the West, we talk more about plus and minus poles, or when it comes to this work, polarities, masculine and feminine, but you can call it whatever you want to. This is just very easy to discuss and to put certain qualities in, because when it comes to the body connection, it's a very good framework to have to relate to coming back, right? If I would work with a woman, for instance, coming back to the body will probably be something like movement, a lot of movement, maybe dancing, depending on the person, of course. But it's really about going from thinking to feeling. If I ask you like, oh, how are you today? And someone says, good, that doesn't really tell me anything, right? Okay, what are you noticing in your body right now? What do you mean? That's probably a sign of I'm up thinking and I'm doing all these tasks up in my head, but I'm not really physically being in my body, feeling what's going on. So that would be the first thing I would do to guide someone. Okay, how does your breath feel, right? How does it feel to sit here on your seat bones, right? So the difference, I would say, is usually women have at least had a stronger connection to the body due to your monthly cycles, the menstruation cycles, and due to the many cyclical changes that happen more often with women than with men. And also because women, the corpus callosum, the connection between right and left hemisphere, has about 30% more connections, thicker connections. So emotionally, and to connect to the emotional side of the brain is much easier for a woman biologically, right? Whereas for a man, many times it's both biologically and also societal conditions. It doesn't really allow us to, oh, don't cry, don't feel like that, don't be a sissy, be strong, be similar. So for a man, it's usually to break through the ego, to break through the conception of what it means to actually allow yourself to feel something, because that can be synonymous with weakness. Yeah, I don't know how to fix this. I'm sorry about that. I'll fix it for the next podcast. I updated, so all
No
these
thumbs up.
emojis comes up. No thumbs up. Anyway, so it might not be a concept of, it might be related to weakness for a man. If I feel my body and I feel my emotions and I'm here, then I can't work as hard and I can't be as tough and I can't be this identity that I believe is a man. Whereas I think women might have the same, but within a certain capacity, like you said, Maybe they're working in a environment that is very masculine, that's very dominant, that's very pushing your elbows to get to where you want to go, like a corporate structure. But she might not live her entire life like that. There might be one aspect of her life that she lives like this. But for men, they usually live their whole life like this, right? And they maybe many times have not had an experience of not being like that. Whereas a woman have had an experience, usually, in my opinion, in my experience, of being in their body, right?